What's going on? This is Bruce Matson, your show host. The show that has no name yet. And people have been asking me, like, when are you going to name it? What's going to happen? We've been running this for about 2-3 months. Weekly. No name for the show. And I just want to make sure things are right because I'm going to start making logos, start getting some cut-ups and stuff. So, I don't know yet. I have some ideas. It's going to be dropping soon. I'm getting some other pieces together for the show. But the content's what's important. The content is what brings you here. And today is important because I am already digging into the 2021 NFL Draft. I'm already digging into these Debbie prospects who are getting ready to step to that next stage. You hear my dog going crazy over there because she's excited too. Actually, she's half blind. She doesn't know where she's at. She's got the Helen Keller syndrome going on. It is what it is. But if you like fantasy football, you like NFL draft, you like a guy in a microphone sitting in front of a camera just yelling into the abyss, then you need to hit that subscribe button. You need to hit those likes. Give me some comments. Just hit a bunch of buttons, baby, because we're getting ready to roll. And today, we're going to be talking about Seth Williams. And the reason why I am on to Seth Williams today is because I've been getting ready for the 2021 NFL Draft and studying these prospects. I start early. I try to start before everybody else. That way my feet are on the ground, boots are strapped and ready to go. When everyone's getting started, I'm 10 miles ahead of them. And Seth Williams, throughout the years, throughout his collegiate career, I've been a big fan of him. Big fan of what I've seen on tape, what I've seen from highlights, what I've seen statistic-wise, and like the size, 6'3", 210, just a guy that I always admired. And a lot of that is his body control, the way he can climb the ladder, the way he can out-physical or get more physical than the defender around him when the ball's in the air. He can do all that great stuff. He has a tremendous highlight tape. He can make some amazing plays. There's one play against Alabama, I think in 2019, where it was tight coverage. The ball made it through the window, and he just reeled it in one-handed along the sideline and snuggled it like a newborn baby, keeping that ball warm. And it was great to watch. And he has plays like that off and on throughout the season that you're like, how the heck did this guy do it? And that's just what you get with Seth Williams. And he's a good football player. You put on the tape, though, and things kind of change when you watch him from play to play, game to game. It's kind of like, you know how they say you never want to meet your heroes because you're going to be disappointed. I kind of got that with Seth Williams. Like, I'm not down on him. I still like him. I'm still going to have him ranked pretty good in this wide receiver class. But I want to point out some of the stuff that I saw today while it's in my head fresh. Like this monitor here, right here, I'm hitting it. I'm smashing it. And I just got done watching 5 games, 6 games, whatever I could really find of him. And there's some things I saw, and I want to point that out so you guys can look at it, so you guys can see if you saw what I saw. Come back here in the comments and be like, Bruce, I saw that. That's a concern. Or Bruce, shut up. Delete this video. You're wrong. I don't care. But my job is to help you. My job is to share what I'm seeing, what I'm doing. And that's what I'm doing right now. And Seth Williams has some problems. And a lot of it's with his release in the start of the route. One, he's not very sudden or quick twitch. So from a physical standpoint, that's a little bit of an issue, but you can get away from that. We see wide receivers be able to get away from that at the next level. What I don't like is his inability to sell his routes, and he's almost at the point where he almost tips him off even. Like, you can see the DB, like, if you really run back those plays 3 or 4 times, you'll see the DB just stepping up, knowing that he's going to break it off to a curl or a hitch or whatever. And it's very discouraging. And the reason why he doesn't sell it so great is just he doesn't take that little quarter of a second time to really use his eyes, use his shoulders, use his head to make the DB think he's either going to break inside, break outside. And he'll try it, and it just won't work. And he'll go on and do his move, and that DBs with him, and that separation's not created. The thing that I am being optimistic about, this, looking at both sides of the fence, I'm always objective, is I do see him being able to do this on some plays. There are some plays on his highlight film where he's able to sell the route and gain that separation. That's usually on slant routes. He's very good on the slant. He has money on the slant. And that's where Auburn likes to use him at, and that's understandable. He's 6'3", 210, or whatever he's weighing at these days. You eat Taco Bell, you gain 10 pounds by the end of the night. That's how it is. So don't give me with these arbitrary weights and heights and stuff. Everything's going to change come combine time, and you're stuck at height and weight for the rest of your life. But he's a big guy, and he'll win at the slant, and he has his routine on how he wins. I liked one play where he sold to the outside, and when he was selling it inside and getting ready to cross the defender's face to break inside, he went the extra mile in that play where he just twisted his shoulders almost all the way. You saw his numbers when he did the twist, and he was looking towards the sideline, and then flipped around real sudden, which he's not always sudden, and was able to beat the DB's face or get past the DB and went on the slant route and create that separation. That was very encouraging. I just want to see that more often. I want to see that a lot of times. He also gets pushed around a little bit. Like right off the line of scrimmage, he'll get pushed around for a couple yards before he can get by the DB, or he'll get pushed into the sideline, creating less room for the quarterback to make his throw. It's very discouraging considering he's so big, and you see how aggressive he is at the catch point. You see how aggressive he is blocking, and he can get very emotional on the field. There's been times you see him push back at players after playing stuff. You don't see that all the time in his routes. You see it quite a bit, him just getting moved while running his routes, and that's very discouraging to me. Part of it's too, it goes back to the release and the stem, and him not being able to use his hands correctly. He allows that DB to get their hands on him, and that he doesn't have them. He's not in the right position for him to work that route. That's very concerning to me. That's something though that's very fixable too with good coaching, and I can see him work past that and be good at the NFL level. So there are some issues that I just wanted to address them right here on camera on the microphone that I saw, because I don't want to be saying that he's a good wide receiver and then someone on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, somewhere get a misconception of what he is, and then they think he's Calvin Johnson or something. I want to be 100% transparent. I want to let you know how objective I am in my thought process. But there are some warning signals with Seth Williams that could prevent him from producing at the NFL level, that could cause him to break out late. There are also things or hurdles that he just needs to work through. These are simple things for him to work through. He's a big guy. He can learn to use his hands. He can learn that in a week, a couple days. Different coach, that's something he can work through. Selling the routes, he gets with that Footwork King guy on Twitter for a couple days. That might be it. That might be all he needs. Suddenness may never be there. His size, his height, that's understandable. Big guys like that aren't always usually sudden. They're not the most sudden guys. He knows how to win with his size when the ball's in the air. That's the big thing. He has good hands. He's good body control. He can read the ball when it's in the air. Some good things about his profile. Not all of these wide receivers are going to come in 100% spotless, 100% pro ready. We have to know that. We have to know how they win on the field. We also have to know what can prevent them from taking that step forward, or what they just need to work on. That doesn't mean they're not going to be good. Also, just because they can win on the field doing this and this doesn't mean that they're going to be doing that at the NFL level, because they need to work on this and this. That's why you got guys like me who point that out. I'm very objective with my analysis. I'm also very open-minded, and I look at best case scenario, and objectively, using that a lot, I may look at that too much. I still think he's a good player. I still think he can be a tremendous asset at the next level. I think he needs to be paired with a good wide receiver core, or at least an elite wide receiver starting off. One, so he can learn off that player, and then two, he doesn't have to face the best corner play in and play out. That'll help him more out with his development. He is kind of lackadaisical at times. He just doesn't run through his routes all the way. He takes plays off too, and he slows up mid-play. And it's multiple times, multiple games. And it's even in big games like Alabama, SEC games where he's doing this. And it concerns me. It concerns me that he'll do this while practicing, or he doesn't have the effort for this. I don't know. I have no insight. But you see this on film, and I know if he just works through these hurdles, he could be a wide receiver 1 in the NFL. He could be a wide receiver 1 in fantasy, especially in the right situation, right volume, right quarterback, a quarterback who's willing to push it through windows. Because this guy's not going to win with suddenness. He's not going to win through the short to intermediate routes. So it's proper pairing, and the proper system as well. A lot to like about Seth Williams. There's also things to be concerned about. So I sound like I'm on the fence, but I'm kind of high on him because I see the upside. I also see how the NFL game is like too, because now NFL teams need to be running with 2 or 3 good wide receivers. So more than likely, if you look at most of these teams in the league, he's going to be on a team where he doesn't have to be the main guy. I don't think any NFL team's going to be drafting him expecting him to be the main guy. That's the reason why he's not up there right now with Devonta Smith and Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, and them. That's why he never really took that step. That's why he's kind of been slept on. There's a lot of criticism about the QB play, but I can also see this from a consistency standpoint about him being open and on a regular basis as well. I don't know. I also feel like I need to watch more tape objectively. I have watched enough tape, enough film to develop a feeling of what he is. I want to really know him inside and out. It's only December. I'm this high deep. Come April, I'm gonna be through the moon on this guy, knowing everything. Metrically, just adjust, depending on how you adjust breakout age. He broke out as a 20-year-old sophomore or 19-year-old sophomore, however you adjust that, maybe late 19, but his birthday's in April, so he was a 20-year-old. So I was with a 30.77% market share, the offensive production. He showed a lot of flashes, though, as a freshman. Age 19, he's an older guy. Unless the birth dates are wrong. That usually with these prospects, that can't happen. I got him as an 18, 19-year-old guy here because I'm very objective about this birth date even. 18.46% market share, which is pretty good. You got to remember Darius Slayton was in the offense. He wasn't the main guy, but he was a big playmaker. Seth Williams is a playmaker on the field. He's shown this throughout his entire career. Right now, currently, he has a 31.58% market share of the offensive production or the passing production. That could have risen or increased from last week. I pulled that data when I ran my December market share report a week and a half ago or so, or a week ago. So that could have raised, but that's pretty solid. So he's got a good ownership of the offense. He's 21 years old. Come draft day, he'll be 22. He'll be lining up on the field as a 22-year-old rookie. So you got to think of it that way. Unless the birthday's wrong, then he would be a 21-year-old rookie. So we'll figure out. He'll be 21, 22 years old. But the numbers here statistically isn't really that bad. I really, really would like him to have more touchdowns on his resume. He's got 17 on his career. 8 last year, 4 right now for this year, but that's a shortened season, kind of shortened really. The SEC's really playing their games. However, I get it. It's a lower volume passing offense than Auburn, But when we're talking about a wide receiver being elite of the elite with the top wide receiver in this class, and we're drawing straws, and I'm trying to make a case for a guy, and he's a big-bodied receiver who wins at the catch point and touchdowns at the converting those tough contested touchdowns is a big thing in the resume. Kind of want those numbers up a little bit. It doesn't really matter that much. He's got a good market share. He owns the offense. And the tape checks out to a point. There are some concerns, but I do want those touchdowns up a little bit. Hopefully he finishes the year off strong to where he can rack it up. He's got 4 on the year, 5 as a freshman, and 8 last year. So we just got to go off what we go off of. When I think of how my views could change between now and the NFL draft, I think I could start, I'm really high on him. I was really high on him last year. I was really high on him the year before. And my overall opinion has not changed. I don't see him as an alpha right out of the gate, just taking over an NFL offense and being the guy. Obviously, there's going to be a transition period for him. I think he does need help, as in another good wide receiver playing along with him to take off some of that coverage and some good quarterback play. I think he can be a good fantasy asset. I think he has all that potential. He worries me a little bit because I feel like some of his issues may be due to laziness. And if it is due to laziness, then that means he's got to fix that quick, or he'll be out of the league quick because he'll get outworked. The wide receiver position, from a macro standpoint, when you're looking at the position, there's so many good wide receivers, and if you're not learning the nuances, then you're going to be left behind because this is a different game than what it was 10 years ago. You have to be nuanced. Everybody on or in the NFL is a good route runner. And the thing is, Seth Williams, so the thing is that we're going to come to these crossroads. I'm already predicting the future of what the draft analysis is going to be like on this guy. You're going to have a crossroads here. We're going to have guys that don't like him. We're going to have guys that really like him. And the reason why we're going to have the guys like that is because he shows you plays where he can be a really good route runner. He shows you plays where he breaks off routes. He shows you plays where he is sudden. And it's just depending on what tape this person watches and how they're feeling that way and how they let the highs dictate their feeling towards a player and how the lows dictate their feelings towards a player. And then you have Analyst B. They see the stuff that I was talking about that I want people to know, so they don't hear me talk later saying, oh yeah, I like Seth Williams, yeah, he's a good player, blah, 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 blah. And then, because Twitter's only like 180 characters. TikTok, you only talk for a minute. You get it? So I can't really give you like the whole thing. I'm not going to sit there and do a Twitter thread. I can write an article and get paid for it. Why would I do that? So I don't want to lead you astray. So this is your free analysis of Seth Williams from me. I like him. I think he's a great player. I think he can be a baller. I think he can be a playmaker. I think he has some issues he needs to work on. And that's that. You're going to get that with a lot of these wide receivers. You got little things about every wide receiver in this class that needs to be talked about, addressed, of things that are wrong. And I'll say it. I'm not going to be scared to be called out on it. I mean, I'll still like the player, but I want to be objective 100% too. And I still do use metrics. I'm big on metrics. I'm big on athletic metrics. I'm worried about his combine. I think he's got more long speed than what he shows on film consistently, because there are plays where he gets downfield quick and there's plays that he doesn't. And he can be sudden. But he just doesn't show it a lot. Like, I'm talking like he can show you suddenness 1 out of 10 routes, 2 out of 10 routes. And when I talk about suddenness, it's like when you're breaking inside on a slant route, breaking it out or whatever. He doesn't show it all the time. If it's a slant route, he's money on it. And he actually probably could be a little better if he can get a little quicker. But he's just aggressive on it. But there's just plays where he's just down sometimes. But That's Seth Williams for you. It's December 16th right now. I'm going to have more videos about him. Maybe 2 or 3 more because this is going to be draft. Yeah, so my video cut out on me. I was pounding the table and the stop button hit for some reason. I don't understand. I do not do 2 takes on any video, whether it's here, TikTok, anywhere. No 2 takes, not on podcasts or anything. I rip it. I grab on this mic and I like the run and gun. So there's no editing. I'm not redoing it. I just come back on here, hit that mic and go. I'm one of the best in the mics in the game when it comes to football analysis anyways. Fantasy football, there's no one who really can touch this. I know it, and I walk around town and all day long, every day. It's the best in the world. The chips are right here on these traps because I don't have shoulders. I got traps, and they cover the shoulders. That's how that works. So if you liked what you heard today or saw today or whatever about Seth Williams, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. I'm coming at you with draft, Devy, fantasy football all day, every day. And just hitting those buttons is a long way because that allows me to get more viewership. Lets me know that I should continue to do these videos. But thank you guys, and I'll catch you next time.